The galaxy had never seen silence like this before. Far beyond the human territories, the Zyron Alliance patrolled their systems. Their ships were sleek, fast, and armed with weapons that could destroy entire planets. The aliens believed they were untouchable. They laughed at every species that tried to challenge them. Every fleet they faced fell apart before the humans even existed. But today something strange appeared at the edge of their sensors. A small fleet of human ships had emerged from hyperspace. They were fewer in number than the Zyron patrols, but something about them made the aliens pause. Their ships were sleek but heavily armored, with dark metal hulls reflecting the faint light of distant stars. Unlike the Zyron ships, they were not fast or elegant. They moved slowly, almost deliberately. The alien commanders gathered around their screens. "Is that their fleet?" one officer asked, disbelief in his voice. Another laughed. "Those? They are barely ships. They look like junk." The Zyron Supreme Commander leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. The scans showed old designs, weapons that seemed outdated, and engines that hummed quietly, as if the ships had been asleep for decades. "Relics," he said softly. "They sent relics to face us." Laughter echoed through the alien command halls. Some even turned away from their screens in amusement. "This will be easy," an officer said. "We can destroy them in seconds." But the humans said nothing. Inside the largest human ship, the bridge was quiet. The crew moved with calm precision. No one laughed. No one showed fear. Every officer and sailor was focused on their tasks. Their uniforms were old-fashioned, worn from years of service, but they carried the marks of countless battles. These were veterans who had survived wars long before most species existed. Captain Elias Rowan stood in the center of the bridge. His hair was gray, his face lined with experience. He stared at the alien fleet on the main screen, thousands of ships filled with energy and power. The numbers were overwhelming. "Status," he said quietly. "All ships are in position, sir," a young officer replied. "Scans show no unusual activity from the enemy." Captain Rowan nodded. "Keep silent. Let them make the first mistake." Outside, the alien fleet began to move forward. Small scout ships flew closer to the human fleet, scanning for weaknesses. The readings were weak. The humans appeared to have minimal energy output, outdated shields, and old weapons. "They are nothing," the Zyron commander said, smiling. "Send in the main fleet. Finish this quickly." The aliens did not notice the subtle hum rising from the human ships. Deep within the armor, systems that had been dormant for decades were starting to awaken. Ancient engines that had not roared in 100 years began to pulse with energy. Hidden weapons bays prepared themselves for action. Every ship carried the memory of battles long forgotten. Back on the human bridge, a young officer glanced nervously at the captain. "Sir, they are charging weapons. They will fire soon," he said. Captain Rowan's eyes were steady. "Let them. They will not understand what they face." Minutes passed. The human fleet remained still. The silence was deafening. The aliens expected surrender. They expected panic. They expected fear. Instead, they received nothing. The first warning came quietly. Sensors on the alien ships flickered. Energy readings rose from the human ships, but the aliens could not identify the source. "What is happening?" a scientist cried. "Energy spikes inside their ships. But our scans show nothing." The Zyron commander's confidence faltered for the first time. "Prepare to fire anyway," he ordered. "We will destroy them before they do anything." Alien beams of energy cut through space. Missiles screamed toward the human fleet. Explosions bloomed like miniature suns. Smoke and fire trailed across the stars. For a moment, the galaxy believed the humans were doomed. But when the smoke cleared, the human ships were still there. Armor glowed, but it did not break. Shields held. Weapons rotated into position with precise timing. Something deep inside the ships had awakened, a power the aliens could not see or understand. Captain Rowan raised his hand. "Hold your fire," he said calmly. "Let them learn their mistake." The young officer looked at him, confused. "Sir, what are we doing?" "We are reminding them," Captain Rowan replied. "They forgot what humans can do." Across the alien fleet, confusion turned to fear. Sensors failed. Communications jammed. The Zyron commander realized too late that these were not ordinary ships. These were machines of survival, weapons forged from centuries of human wars. The silence before the storm was over. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The humans waited. And in that waiting, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The alien fleet thought victory was certain. Thousands of Zyron ships glided through space, weapons charged and engines ready. Their sensors had detected nothing unusual in the human fleet. They believed the humans were weak, slow, and outdated. "Nothing can survive against us," an officer said confidently. The Zyron commander leaned forward, his claws tapping the control panel. "Send scouts. Confirm their weaknesses." Small alien ships zipped toward the humans, scanning every hull, every weapon bay. Their reports came back quickly, and made the commanders laugh again. "Relics," a scout said. "Ancient designs. Old armor. Weapons that cannot compete with modern firepower. Send the main fleet," the commander ordered. "Finish them before they even move." But the humans did not move. Inside the largest human ship, Captain Elias Rowan watched the alien fleet. His eyes were calm, steady. He did not panic. "Sensors," he said. "Check energy flows in the enemy fleet." A young officer replied, "Scanning. Their shields are strong, sir. Weapons fully charged." "Good," Rowan said quietly. "Let them strike first." Deep inside the human fleet something stirred. Systems that had been dormant for decades began to hum with life. Ancient reactors glowed softly. Hidden weapon bays shifted. Old engines pulsed with quiet energy, waiting for the right moment. The aliens noticed strange readings, but they did not understand them. "What is that?" a scientist asked, frowning at the sensors. "Energy spikes in their ships. But nothing is showing on scans." "Impossible," the commander snapped. "Our sensors never fail." Minutes passed. The human ships stayed still. Silent. "Come." The Zyron fleet grew impatient. "Fire everything," the commander ordered. Energy beams cut through the dark space. Missiles screamed forward. Explosions bloomed in the void. But the human ships remained. They rocked from the hits, armor glowing red, yet not breaking. Weapons rotated into position with mechanical precision. Hidden systems invisible to alien scanners came online. The young officer on the human bridge whispered, "Sir, they can't see what we have prepared." Captain Rowan nodded. "They will learn soon enough." Alien panic began to rise. Reports came in faster now. "Enemy energy is increasing. They are overloading systems we cannot detect." The Zyron commander felt a shiver of fear. "This is unexpected," he muttered. He had thought humans were weak, predictable, and slow. Now he realized he had underestimated them. And that was a mistake the aliens could not afford. "Prepare for retreat if necessary," he ordered, but his voice lacked confidence. The human fleet waited. Silent. "So, come." And in that silence, power built inside ancient machines. Power the aliens could not predict. Power that would soon turn the galaxy upside down. Captain Rowan raised his hand. "Hold, just a little longer," he said. The young officer looked anxious. "Sir, the first attack is coming any moment." Rowan smiled faintly. "Let them hit. That is when they will learn." The galaxy watched. And it did not know what was about to happen. The lethal fleet of humans was awakening. And no alien would survive what was coming next. The human fleet pulsed quietly in the dark of space. To the aliens it looked like weakness. Old slow ships. Outdated weapons. Machines that should have been relics, floating harmlessly in the void. But the humans were not ordinary. Inside each ship, ancient systems hummed with life. Weapons that had not been used in decades rotated into position. Engines glowed with a soft blue light. Every ship carried the memory of wars long forgotten, battles fought when humans had no allies and no hope. Captain Elias Rowan walked along the bridge of the flagship. His eyes scanned the fleet, not with fear but with calm calculation. "These ships," he said to his officers, "were built to survive when the odds were against us. Not to impress. Not to show power. But to endure. And today they will remember why humans endure." A young officer looked puzzled. "Sir, they look so old. How can we hope to beat the Zyron elite with these ships?" Rowan smiled faintly. "We do not hope. We act. Hope is for those who have never fought for survival." Outside, the alien fleet was growing restless. They scanned the human ships and found nothing threatening, only old hulls and weak signals. "They are relics," the Zyron commander said aloud. "Nothing more. Destroy them and this war ends in seconds." The aliens did not know what they were about to face. The humans moved slowly, deliberately, as if waiting for the perfect moment. Their weapon systems, unseen by alien scanners, aligned. Railguns, plasma cannons, missile bays, all ancient, all deadly, were ready to fire. "These ships survived humanity's darkest years," Rowan continued quietly, "when enemies were everywhere and hope was gone. And they will survive this too. In the silence of space, the humans waited. The aliens, growing impatient, advanced closer. Some sent scouts. Others fired warning beams. Still, the human fleet did not respond. "They do not fear us," an alien officer whispered. "No," the commander said grimly. "They are calculating. And that is worse." The first sign of power came quietly. One of the smaller human ships fired a hidden missile. It moved silently, fast and precise. It struck an alien scout before anyone could react. The ship was gone in a flash of light. The aliens blinked, confused. Scanners reported nothing unusual. How could a weak relic destroy a modern ship? Captain Rowan raised his hand. Phase 1. Fire when ready. All across the human fleet, systems fully powered up. Energy cores hummed. Weapons glowed. Missiles slid into launch bays. Cannons rotated smoothly. These were not advanced AI-controlled weapons. They were old designs, simple and deadly, controlled by human hands and experience. The aliens began to panic. Impossible. Their weapons should be weak. They are relics. They underestimated humans, a young officer said quietly. Always. And now, the galaxy was about to see why humans were the deadliest predators in 2073. The human fleet did not rush. They did not panic. They waited for the perfect moment. Because these ships, these old machines, carried the souls of humans who had survived every impossible battle. And today the Zyron Alliance would pay the price for laughing at them. The galaxy waited. The Zyron Alliance believed the humans were weak. They thought the relic fleet would break under fire. They were wrong. The human ships pulsed with quiet energy, engines glowing softly, weapons primed but hidden. Captain Elias Rowan stood on the flagship bridge, his eyes calm. "Phase 2, he said. Instantly the fleet erupted. Ancient weapons activated across every ship. Massive railguns pivoted toward the enemy. Hidden missile bays opened. Energy beams fired from ancient cannons that no alien sensor had detected. The first Zyron ship exploded. A brilliant flash lit the void as metal tore apart and fire engulfed the cruiser. "Impossible," an alien officer shouted. "Their weapons, how can they penetrate shields?" Missiles flew with precision. Energy beams cut through alien hulls. The aliens scrambled, trying to regroup, but it was too late. The humans had planned this attack for decades. Every strike was calculated, every shot deadly. The Zyron commander's confidence vanished. "Retreat," he ordered. "All ships retreat." But the human fleet did not chase recklessly. They moved with purpose, targeting engines, power cores, and command vessels. Each attack destroyed key parts of the alien fleet, forcing panic and chaos. Explosions lit the stars. Debris floated through the void like ashes in a storm. Alien communication channels filled with screams and warnings. "These ships, they were relics," an alien officer cried. "They are destroying us." Captain Rowan watched, calm as ever. "Do not celebrate yet," he said. "Precision is everything." The human fleet struck again. Ancient cannons fired, obliterating alien ships from a distance. Missiles found weak points in shields, tearing through armor. One by one, the elite Zyron vessels fell. Alien survivors tried to flee. But the humans allowed only those who powered down. Any ship that resisted was destroyed. "Focus fire on engines and weapons," Rowan ordered. "We do not need to destroy everything, just make them remember." The stars burned with alien wreckage. Explosions reflected across the human ships, but they did not falter. Armor held. Weapons continued firing. Ancient engines hummed like living beasts. The Zyron commander stared at the devastation. His fleet, the pride of the galaxy, was crumbling before relics he had laughed at. "They underestimated us," a human officer whispered. "Always," Rowan said softly. By the end of the first strike, the Zyron fleet was in full retreat. Broken ships limped away, engines flickering, shields down. The humans had not just survived, they had dominated. The relic fleet powered down slowly, returning to silent vigilance. The battlefield was theirs, but no celebration followed. Only calm. Only focus. The galaxy had learned its first lesson. Never laugh at humans. Never underestimate relics. Never forget that survival makes the deadliest hunters. The first strike was over. But the war had only just begun. The battlefield was silent, but the galaxy was not. The Zyron Alliance had never been defeated like this. Their fleets, once feared across star systems, were shattered. Broken ships drifted through space, engines dead, weapons destroyed. Fires burned among debris, reflecting off distant stars. Alien officers stared at their screens in disbelief. How could this happen? One whispered. Our fleet, destroyed by relics? Another said, voice trembling. The Zyron commander sat frozen. The pride of the galaxy, their advanced ships, their perfect weapons, had been undone by humans. Relics, ships they had laughed at. Across space, other species watched in shock. Sensor reports showed what had happened. Entire fleets wiped out in minutes by old, seemingly weak ships. Humans had struck once, and the galaxy trembled. On the human side, the fleet moved slowly. Engines glowed softly, weapons powered down. No celebration. No yelling. Only calm. Precision. Discipline. Captain Elias Rowan spoke quietly on the flagship bridge. Do not pursue too far, he said. The point has been made. Young officers looked around, awed. Sir, they are afraid of us. Entire fleets retreating. Rowan nodded. Good. Let them remember why humans survive. Alien commanders tried to regroup, but panic spread faster than fire. Reports of destroyed ships came in from every system. Messages went out, warning other fleets to stay away. They are not just survivors, a Zyron scientist said, voice shaking. They are predators. The humans did not hunt blindly. They spared those who surrendered, destroyed only those who resisted. Every action was precise, measured, and terrifying. Across the galaxy, councils of alien species met in secret. They underestimated humans, an elder said. We all did. Their ships, they are relics, yet they destroy our fleets like toys. They fight not with advanced technology, another replied, but with experience, precision, and survival instinct. They are not just strong, they are relentless. Back on the battlefield, the human fleet regrouped. Engineers worked quietly to repair damaged ships. Medics treated the wounded. The losses were real, but the fleet was ready again. Captain Rowan stood on the bridge looking at the stars. The galaxy has seen us today, he said. And they will remember. The relic fleet powered down slowly. Engines dimmed. Weapons cooled. Ships returned to silent vigilance. But the galaxy would not forget. The humans had spoken without words. They had shown their power, their strategy, their survival. And from this day forward, every species would fear humans, not for their size or speed but for their ability to endure, to fight, and to dominate when the time came. The lesson was clear. Never mock humans. Never challenge them. And never forget, they are the deadliest hunters in the galaxy. The stars burned behind them, a silent warning written in fire. The galaxy was in shock. News of the battle spread faster than any fleet. Every alien system that had sensors in the sector replayed the events over and over. The small human relic fleet had destroyed the Zyron elite ships with precision and calm. Entire species trembled at the thought of facing humans. Inside alien command halls, panic and disbelief spread. Councils met in secret. Fleets halted their movements. Borders were tightened. Treaties were reconsidered. Every species, from the smallest colonies to the largest empires, had learned the same lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. Back with the humans, the relic fleet moved slowly through space. Ships hummed quietly as engineers repaired damaged hulls and medics tended to the wounded. Many vessels bore scars from the battle, but the fleet remained intact. Captain Elias Rowan stood on the flagship bridge, watching distant stars. We showed them what we are capable of, he said softly to his officers. But this is not about conquest. It is about warning. A young officer asked, Sir, should we follow them? Ensure they never attack again? Rowan shook his head. No. They will remember. That is enough. Power is shown by restraint, not by needless destruction. The human fleet powered down weapons, engines dimmed, and systems returned to quiet vigilance. The relics were old, but they were alive and fully functional. Every ship carried the experience of centuries, the knowledge of survival, and the discipline of a species that had fought for its life time and again. Across the galaxy, alien species whispered tales of the humans. They did not destroy everyone, a young alien said. They spared us. Because they do not need to, an elder replied. Their power is enough. Their presence is enough. Humans are a warning written in fire. Even the Zyron survivors fled deep into unknown space, sending messages of surrender. The once proud alliance had been humbled, and the galaxy had seen the full cost of underestimating humanity. Captain Rowan turned to his crew. Remember this day, he said. Remember why these ships exist, why we fight, and why humans endure. Survival is not about fighting the easy battle, it is about preparing for the impossible one. We have reminded the galaxy of that. Sensors across human space detected distant fleets halting their expansion. Borders changed. Trade routes reopened cautiously. The humans had not conquered, but they had taken control in the most effective way: fear and respect without needless slaughter. As the relic fleet moved home, the galaxy remained vigilant. Every species knew the truth now: humans were the deadliest predators, not because of technology but because of endurance, skill, and unshakable resolve. The stars that burned in the battle now dimmed, but their memory remained. Every system, every fleet, and every commander knew what it meant to face humanity, and none would forget. Captain Rowan watched quietly as the relic fleet entered human space. "The galaxy has learned," he said. "And now it will remember, for a long time." The relic fleet was silent, disciplined, and ready. But the warning had been given. The humans had spoken. And the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The battlefield was quiet now. Burning alien wreckage drifted across the stars. Smoke and debris reflected faint starlight. The Zyron Alliance fleet, once the pride of the galaxy, had been broken. The human relic fleet remained steady. Engines glowed softly, weapons were powered down, and the ships moved with calm precision. There was no celebration. No triumphal messages. Only focus. Only discipline. Captain Elias Rowan stood on the flagship bridge. His eyes scanned the remnants of the battlefield. Many ships were damaged, some would never fly again. Many crews had been wounded. And yet the fleet was alive, powerful, and ready. "These ships," Rowan said softly, "have carried humans through centuries of war. They have endured what no other fleet could survive. Today they have reminded the galaxy why humans endure." Alien survivors floated through space, watching the humans silently. They expected pursuit, punishment, or rage. But the humans offered none of it. "They are not chasing us," a trembling alien officer whispered. "Why?" "They do not need to," an elder alien replied. "They fight not to destroy but to warn. They give a lesson in power and restraint." The relic fleet began to withdraw. One by one, human ships entered hyperspace, leaving the battlefield behind. The stars still glowed with fire, a silent warning for every system that had watched. Across the galaxy, species whispered the story. Entire fleets paused expansion. Governments issued warnings. Alien empires reconsidered treaties. Every species understood the same truth: humans are dangerous. Not because of numbers. Not because of advanced technology. But because of survival, discipline, and strategy honed over centuries. In the human flagship, Rowan addressed his officers. "Do not forget today," he said. "These ships were built for survival. These ships fight when others cannot. We do not conquer for glory, we conquer by showing the galaxy what it means to survive." As the fleet slipped into human space, the message was clear and unforgettable. Never underestimate humans. Never mock their power. Never think relics are weak. Because relics are what endure. Because survival is the deadliest weapon. And because humans will always rise. The stars that burned behind them were the warning written in fire. And the galaxy had read it. No alien would ever forget.